I was asked about being mistreated. So I'm not really covering abuse that's physical or sexual nature. As always, anything that is that detrimental or harmful, even if it is illicit emotional abuse. So nothing physical is taking place, but you don't feel that you can make eye contact or speak up in that experience. Please seek support. But in a larger context, being mistreated, I was offered years ago from a friend that we teach people how to treat us. And when I first heard that, my ego didn't want to hear that because I was in victim mode. So I wanted to be able to blame everybody and everything without looking at what the mistreatment was teaching, showing, and revealing to me about how I see myself, how I see my place in the world. And so the principle of boundaries comes up, and not a boundary that keeps people out and locks me in, but rather a boundary that connotes what is required to be in relationship. So if you're somebody that doesn't like profanity and people are cursing around you, a boundary would allow you to lovingly say to them, hey, just need to let you know when you're with me, you don't get to call me the B word, or you don't get to call me, MF, or I don't really do well around a lot of profanity. So that's not you asking or demanding that they change anything. You're just asking them to take notice of what is required to be in relationship with you. And if they still continue the behavior, they don't need to change a thing. I'm the one that gets to leave, right? That's what the mistreatment can show us, being mistreated. What is the treatment that I'm missing internally that's showing up in my external world? So a lot of times, what we don't get, there are laws, whether it's the law of correspondence or the law of mind action, which says what I think is what I do. And a lot of times I don't recognize that my doing this is reflected back to me in other people's doing this. But it gives me a chance to go, what is the treatment that's missing in my life that could nurture my development, my growth? So now I can look at, for example, my spiritual life or my financial life or my relational life with myself or life with families or my academic life or my professional life, my thoughts, my beliefs, my aspirations, my dreams. What are the things, what are the areas in my life that may require attention that I'm not giving attention? So if there's a part of my life that I'm not nurturing, my overall well-being. So I'm not really working out. I'm not getting any exercise. I'm not getting sufficient sleep. That would be mistreatment that may show up in a coworker's behavior. So please know that my treatment doesn't need to look like the other person's treatment. I just need to get what it is. It's mistreatment. Got it. So if it's showing up in my external world, then it's a reflection of my internal narrative, internal concepts, internal constructs. So let me go inside first and check me out and go, oh, I never told that person that I don't care for that title or to be called that or to be treated that way. It could be something as simple as somebody that always smacks me on the back of my neck. I remember in middle school, it was a big thing to lick your fingers and then smack the back of a person's neck, right? And I could say it's mistreatment because it's not treatment that honors me. It's not treatment that nurtures me. So if I go along to get along, I always shrug and shriek and I see them and I laugh it off and I point at them and I try and get on their side so that they're striking other people. I've missed the opportunity to take a stand for who I am and say, hey, David or Stacy, do me a favor. Please understand, I don't care to play that game, right? Without threatening them and without giving an ultimatum, because that only exacerbates behavior. It's just me sharing with you. So now you know that doesn't work for me. Now, if you continue the behavior, now I can make new choices, right? So the mistreatment allows me to see the treatment that may be missing in different areas of my life. So if I adjust them, then I may see that the frequency of mistreatment in my physical world diminishes. What I know to be true is when I correct it here, it's corrected out there. Now, if you're dealing with somebody that is just intentional and it is mental or emotional or physical or sexual abuse, not only do I offer that you get support, be mindful when you ask for support or help, be mindful of telling somebody, but don't tell anyone. that is an incredible burden to place on somebody who you've gone to for help or support. I know the situations can be tenuous. Sometimes the support you need is going to require a friend to speak for you when you can't. Just like I know there's some times where in my weakest states and I know I'm not in a place to pray or meditate, I can make a call, ask my wife, heck, I even ask my sons, hey, pray for Pops. And sometimes I have enough strength to tell them what to pray for so it's guided, because you don't want just people praying willy-nilly. um, but to ask and invite people to do for you what you're not able to do for yourself. And having been physically abused, sexually abused, I speak from experience. Releasing that releases it from my physical world. But in its softer version, if it shows up in my physical world as mistreatment, let me take a look at my internal world and see where treatment is being missed that could nurture and honor my journey, my development, my growth. Little something for your journey. As always, be gentle with yourself.